Jamie, we're sure glad that you're here. Little baby, you're such a sweet, sweet dear. Little Jamie, we're sure glad you're here. We're sure glad you're here.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a good day today. I'm having a wonderful day. I wanted to have some story time today. I wanted to have some story time because there's a lot of people out there that have daughters that I have spoken to that really feel like a certain age is too young to have conversations with their daughters about sex and men and, you know, real life stuff. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately because my mom started talking to me early. Like, I might have been like 7 or 8 when she started having like the real deal sex, life conversations with me. And at the time, there were a lot of people that had their little opinions about, you know, oh, that's too early, you should wait, you're still a baby. But honestly, I'm thankful for those conversations because it is her having those conversations with me early that resulted in me deciding to save myself for marriage and ultimately keeping the vow. Had she not talked to me about that stuff so early, I probably definitely would not have made any vow to save myself till even the prom night, let alone my wedding day, honestly. And I say that because that's just not in keeping with what was going on in the world around the time that I was growing up. I mean, I don't know many girls that saved themselves till marriage or even thought it was a good idea, really. I mean, like, a lot of people laughed at me and said stuff about me for even deciding to want to do that. So I'm thankful for my mom for having those conversations. But I wanted to tell you guys a little story just to reiterate the importance, like, seriously. A lot of you know I was into music when I was younger, deeply in, met a lot of producers, whole bunch of exciting stuff. So this one particular incident happened with a executive that my mother and I were working with. And so we were doing music together and we were kind of taking meetings at different record labels and you know, basically trying to make connections. And we were doing that pretty much in New York a lot, and you know, at the time we lived in Philly, so driving to New York wasn't that difficult. But this particular time, this executive set up a meeting in LA with another really big wig in the industry. So he set up this meeting and he called my mom first, unbeknownst to me. But he called me and said, I set up this great meeting in California. And I was like, oh, great, that's wonderful. And my mom is my manager at this time, and I'm like a teenager. And he says, I set up this meeting, but I think it should just be me and you. I don't think your mom should go. And it was really like a strange feeling that I got in the pit of my stomach. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to California all the way to California without my mom. Like, I need her there. First of all, she's my manager. Second of all, I'm a girl. Like, you know, I need her help with my hair, my makeup. Like, I was a young girl then. Like, I'm a teenager. Like, what did he think? He was going to be in my hotel room helping me, like, with anything? Like, just come on. So I told him no. My mom ended up going with me. When we got to California, we get to the hotel, we get checked in, you know, I get myself together. My mom helps me with my hair and everything. And they send a car for us, and we get in the car and we drive for what seems like forever and a day. All in the hills, like riding all up like what seemed like a cliff. I mean, we drove and drove and drove for what seemed like forever. And when we finally arrived at the location of this meeting, it was like in a fortress. It was like isolated, and it was just this one guy that comes out, and he was, you know, an executive too, but like a really important big one. And I remember meeting him and thinking in my head, like, okay, why did he want me to come here by myself? And so we get in the studio, and I'm thinking that there are going to be some other people there, and nope, nobody else there, just this one guy and this executive that my mom and I are doing business with. And so, you know, I sing for him and I play a few songs and we leave. But I could not help but wonder what might have happened to me, or what might I have been propositioned with if I had went up there by myself. First of all, if I had gone by myself, I would have had no way of knowing where I was. I mean, it was in a fortress, basically. Like, I would have had no way of knowing where I was. And then if I would have went by myself, it would have been me as a young teenage girl by myself with two grown men. Nobody else was there. And I'm like in the hills of LA. Like, really? Why did you want me to go there by myself? Now, I mean, giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, maybe there's absolutely no reason why he wanted me to go by myself. Maybe he was just trying to save money on the plane ticket. I don't know. But it felt weird when I thought about how different the dynamic would have been if my mom wasn't there and I was there by myself. Like, would he be playing it off like I'm his girlfriend? Would this fool proposition me with, you know, with something disgusting? I mean, like, what would have happened? It just the picture of it sounded inappropriate in my head when he asked me, but then when I actually arrived at the place, it was definitely inappropriate to ask me to go there by myself. Why would you do that? It doesn't even make any sense. And I say all of this to say, it is extremely important that you talk to your daughters early about life and about men and about the things that people try to do. Even if you read the Bible, there's lots of stories in there about rape and things that happen to women. One scripture that I'm thinking of particularly is in the book of Judges, chapter 19. I'm not even going to read it or summarize it. It's like a horrible story. Read it on your own time. But I really feel like that story and other stories like it are in there to like let you know, like, hello, you know, earth is not heaven. Horrible things happen. It's unfortunate, but we can't get around it. So, especially in situations where you have daughters and sons, but especially daughters, it is imperative for you to talk to your daughters. I don't know how many times I have talked to friends of mine that have daughters, and they're just like, oh yeah, you know, I would love for you to talk to my daughter. I think it's wonderful that you saved yourself to marriage, but you know, I want you to wait. You know, she's too young now, and she's 10, or you know what I mean, or 11, or like 12. Like, it's 2016. There are computers. Artists are out talking about doing despicable things to men in songs, and your daughters are singing the lyrics. Like, there's no such thing anymore as she's too young. You really need to kind of get to her and get her in her ear before somebody else does, before the radio does, or before the TV does, or before those fast girls at school do, like, or before that boy does. Because if you don't, it is, I don't want to say a definite possibility, but it's a definite possibility that your daughter might end up in some stupid situation that could have been avoided had you started talking to her early. Because it's just a given in this world that maybe, you know, nothing horrible will happen to your daughter, but it's very likely that she will be propositioned with some foolishness from some man, or even some woman, or even some woman and some man now, you know, and it can really catch her off guard if you have not had conversations. I am so thankful for my mom for having the conversations that she had with me. She had conversations not just about sex with me, like she made me read books like about swingers and about how people might proposition you for certain things. And there were people that would have said at the time, like, oh my god, like, oh my gosh, she's too young, she's wait, let her be a child. But if she had waited and let me be a child, I probably would have been dumb enough to go up to the hills with this man because he's an important executive that everybody knows and he's famous, and I would have ended up, I mean, let's be serious, I was a young girl and these is two grown men. I mean, come on, what you think they wanted to do? Read the Bible? No. I mean, so it's important to talk to your daughters. It's imperative. You can't wait. If you don't feel comfortable talking with them, then you need to find someone who does. Because people are crazy today. There are a lot of monsters out here, predators, and they're out here trying to do horrible things to your daughters and sons. So you got to be careful out here. You got to stay prayed up. But the Lord is not a magician, and you have to exercise wisdom out here. And it is wise. It is a wise idea. And if you have daughters and sons, daughters specifically, to talk to them early about this world, about these men out here, about some of the things that can happen. Because my Lord, you wouldn't want your daughter to be the one that might be dumb enough, and I say dumb enough not in a judgmental way, because we all can have a dumb moment if we're not prepared. So you don't want your daughter to be that one to like really think like, oh okay, oh they invited me up to the hills, woohoo, this will be fun. Like, you don't want that. No one wants to get that call in the middle of the night about their child. So please, please, please make it your business to talk to your daughters early, so that their stories can sound a lot like mine and not like some of these other horrible stories that you hear out here. Yeah, I guess that's it for me. I guess I'm just thankful, really thankful that I have the mom that I have, and thankful that she was so open and willing to tell me stuff so early. Wonderful. What a wonderful blessing. Please be a blessing to your daughters and talk to them. Till next time.